And so on the rich-poor divide in Indonesia, how do you think the internet could help reduce that?
I think internet would be the way that some of the solutions that we want to present in terms of providing access to the people at the bottom of the pyramid. For instance, internet can give a better access to educations. I just met a lady who's providing free educations through technology by way of an internet. I think that's great. We need to increase the infrastructure so that the bottom of the pyramid and people at the grassroots can have access to internet. But with internet, they can have a better way to educate themselves, to empower themselves, and have the proper training. I believe also technology could improve the healthcare by way of early detections of some of the disease that the people on the middle to lower income bracket is facing. And I believe through technology also, funding can be provided to some of the early startup, like the social entrepreneurs, in terms of how they could identify the social problems around them and provide solutions.
You mentioned healthcare. So for example, someone who is located far away from a very good hospital, maybe there would be a government website available so they could diagnose certain illnesses, something like that.
I'm not a big proponent of government interventions really in every sectors of people's life. I'm a big believer of collaborations. I think the government should facilitate, but if private sectors or communities or other elements of the society could provide solutions by way of technology, that could be a much better collaborations. I'm also not a big believer of hands-free government, whereby government should not take any responsibility in some of this providing of education, healthcare, and so on and so forth. Government needs to be there by way of supervising, sometimes regulate, but I guess the government needs to know its place, that it should create policy in order to empower the private sectors as well as other players to be able to provide solutions and to provide real inputs to not only economic but also social activities.
So you're a limited government guy, you would call yourself?
Yes, I would say that the government do have a role, but I don't think government should be. I'm a middle ground way of. I have a middle ground way of thinking, and I think government should know where it should be really be active, whereby when the private sectors or the communities cannot solve their problem, then I think the government should intervene. But when the private sectors and when people within the civil society can already find their solutions and the system is working very well, I think the government should step aside.
So the government could kind of create an environment conducive to solid development, but know when to step out of the way.
Right, and we see this model everywhere. In more developed economies, we see government can actually play that kind of role when they need to step in, when they need to basically, it's like teaching somebody how to ride a bicycle. At some point of time, you need to just watch and not be an active player.
Okay. On the internet again, what are your thoughts on Jakarta's smart city program? And do you think there should be additions made?
I think they're on the right track. I would want to see more. I think there is a very good applications that's now people are using in terms of providing inputs to the government. Clue is the applications, and I think it has worked well. Some people give very good review of it. Some said that it's depending on your locations and depending on how they view the government. The program in CCTV, I think it's a good initiative, but it should implement faster, because Jakarta is still ranked one of the lowest among 60 cities that is being surveyed by Economist Intelligence Unit in terms of safety index. So with CCTV being installed everywhere without infringing privacy, it could provide, I guess, more safe and secure environment for the people of Jakarta.
How do you avoid infringing privacy?
I think we need to make sure that the program that we're doing is first and foremost is to improve the safety of the city and to provide the comfort of the people. I think there should be an oversight body to make sure that we don't step into the privacy. I know that terrorism is now a threat to every city, including Jakarta. We just had a major threat alert in the middle of January this year. So we need to know the boundary, and government with the right mindset would be able to make sure that it's not infringing to the privacy of the people, but it is to ensure the safety of the people of Jakarta.
Okay, so a government body, a watchdog.
I think it's not only government. We need to also bringing in people from the civil society and some academia into the body to make sure that the smart city program is all within the corridor to provide increased safety and increased security for the people of Jakarta.